Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the mouseOne Racing League Season 2, the Pro League. We've got it kicking off right here. I am here being joined by Chris today. Hello. There you go, that's Chris.
Yeah, I'm Chris, actually.
Well, we've got a very, very exciting race coming up for today. It's the first race of the Pro League. Everybody's excited to see what's going to happen. What are your thoughts on, the drivers in the Pro and how it's going to go?
Also, it's the first race of the game, so there will be some exciting racing tonight, probably.
Yeah.
And out of crashes.
Yeah. It's going to be absolutely brilliant what we're going to see here. Before we get into this, thank you to Lollers and Faz for providing the graphics for today that you see in front of you right now. Lollers mainly doing the video stuff, and Faz for mainly doing the picture stuff that we have. Also, thank you for the staff for doing a great job in making Season 2 with all of the, just everything, with all the rules and the setup for this season, and Pro in general. So yeah, good thank you to all of that, and let's get right into things in just a moment. Just accidentally doing that, hang on. 2 seconds, lads. So first off, the first team we have for today is the McLaren Renault with drivers Brawley and Gibby. What are your thoughts on these two? Maybe not. I suppose not. Both great drivers. Obviously, Brawley had the triple win under his belt last season, but let's not get too hasty on that. This is Pro League after all. So, next up we have Force India with drivers Violent Senpai and Brogan, the Dutch and the British, car number 16 and car number 95. These two are looking good for their season. Maybe they can bring Force India higher up than it was last season.
With a new name.
Yeah, exactly. I can't even say it. Let's move on then.
Racing Point Force India.
Yes, that's the one. So now we have the Sauber Alfa Romeo with drivers Steig and Rance, the Danish and the British, car number 4 and car number 75. What are your brief thoughts on these drivers?
We're gonna see them tonight.
Yes, indeed. So now we have the Haas team with drivers Dennis and Sever, the Dutch and the Italian, car number 39, car number 50. Dennis having some great luck with this Haas last year, particularly in Malaysia, so we're going to have to see what happens here. So now we move on to the Red Bull team with drivers Boneless Cigar and Johan, the British in the finish, car number 54 and car number 85. See if they can bring the Red Bull up any higher than last season. Now we have
great expectations.
Me too. Now we have the Renault with drivers Hayes and Demanik, the Swiss and the French, car number 22 and car number 84. Good to see what they can do. Hayes has been very much kind of bigged up in this, so we'll see what he can do here. Now we have Toro Rosso with drivers Chloe, the Danish driver, car number 66, and Jelke Bamus, British driver, car number 37. Have to see what he can do in the Toro Rosso. Great expectations for both these drivers. So now Ferrari, with a big name here, Spicy. Obviously last year, second place, had a chance to maybe take the crown. Didn't in the end, but we have Ferrari. Maybe he can come back this season with drivers Meester with him. We're going to have to see what these two can do. Move on to Mercedes with Dragonarium, the English driver, can't be 21, and Getoned, the Austrian, can't be 63. Good to see what these two can do for Mercedes. See if they can bring them up to the top. Now then, we have the Williams with drivers Windy. You'll all know him from ORC, and drivers Ross Boss, the Italian, car number 81.
Hopefully they can bring better results than in this season in actual Formula 1.
Yes.
So we're gonna give them big thumbs up, and having Windy actual racing driver driving for buggies, I believe.
Yeah. Well,
so
yeah.
he should be performing really well tonight, having been very good racer and award driver, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, so many good drivers on the grid, and I mean, so much could happen in terms of what happens. You know, loads of skilled drivers and whatnot. Yeah, very close indeed tonight. It will be very close indeed. So, the driver's spotlight. We usually do this after races, but the season 1 spotlight. A new season, a new champion. The Mercedes. Well, he's now a Mercedes. Last year he was in McLaren. He's English, he's Dragonarium. He obviously won Season 1 of M1. Will he win this season? That is yet to be proven. So, our partners for today is Around the Outside podcasts. Be sure to check them out. The links are on screen. They'll be doing podcasts after the race. And yeah.
Make sure to check them out.
Yeah, we'll just make sure to check them out. And then we've got F1 Junkies as well. Formula 1 Junkies. Obviously, they partnered us all throughout last season. They're great people. Be sure to check out their huge F1 environment they have, and the Discord server is right below. Or you can PM mouseOne Productions on Twitch for the link. Now, be sure to tweet at us using hashtag M1 Racing League if you want your tweet to be featured in the stream. Very good chance of getting featured in the stream because not many people tweet it. So yeah, here we go then. I mean, what's there to talk about really? We've got the race. What are your thoughts on the track? Australia.
We'll see. Australia is pretty tough track, having turn 11 and 12, I believe.
Yeah.
Very technical. This year it's 3 seconds faster than last year, having 121 pole position by Hamilton this year, and last year by him again, but both years being won by Ferrari, so there can be a lot to be expected and everything can happen.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see what he is. It's kind of a flowing track. It can take quite some time to get into the rhythm of it, I suppose, sometimes, though. I mean, any, like, in particular drivers you would vote to do well here?
I don't know. We'll see. I'm pretty new here, so I would vote for either Dragonarium being last year's champion or Windy, hopefully bringing some good results, and having raced with him a couple of races in other leagues and knowing that he's pretty fast and consistent guy, and pretty sure there'll be a lot of exciting racing tonight. Even we can actually see a safety car, if there's a safety car this year.
Yeah, I mean,
because in 2017 there was a lot of bugs.
There was a lot of bugs in 2017, namely the slipstream bug, which I believe is now gone, so that'll be brilliant. So drivers can leave now, and we can still get on with it freely. I believe the lobby is up, so we'll be sure to join that. But while we join that, I mean, Australia, these guys, last year, Dragonarium won here, so we're going to have to see what we can do. Pre-season race, Dragonarium won it with Windy second. Windy did qualify first, though. So, I mean, do you reckon the fight will be between these two, or do you reckon other people can kind of join it?
It's the Def League, it's the Pro League, actually.
Yeah.
So, they're all fast.
They're all very fast, in comparison to, like, me, for
yes,
example.
Everybody has their own pros and cons, and somebody can be fast in this track and somebody can be fast in the other track, so we can't really say who would win exactly the race.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, I agree. By the way, are you in the session that we have going?
no,
Ah.
add me in Steam.
Okay. If you load up Steam, I'll be sure to invite you to it. But
Big technical issues here.
it's alright, it's cool. But now then, I mean, 2018, the game. What are your thoughts on the game? I mean, and how it's going? Many bugs that we should be worrying about for the first race?
For sure.
Yeah, that's the answer with current masters, I'm afraid. But you know, these guys will push through it, I'm sure. They're all brilliant drivers. And yeah, I mean, very interested to see just how this goes. And I think we'll be heading down to the track shortly. I think we're just waiting for people to join into our session.
Yeah, I'm in.
You're in. Very good. Right. I'm not sure who else we've got to wait for. I think that's pretty much it. Just gonna get into the spectate mode and yeah, it's looking like we've got pretty much a full grid.
We can wait a bit more and then we should be starting, so
we've got 18 of the 20 drivers in here at the moment, so it's looking like it's going to be a very packed race. A lot of fun, and I mean, just really not much else we can say about this. It's
yeah.
It's first race. We're gonna have to wait and see what these guys can do, I suppose. There's some new guys around. For example, Windy, he was in ORC M1, but his first time in M1, like, as a whole. So going to be seeing what he can do. Any kind of questions you have, be sure to plop them in the Twitch chat, by the way. I'll be sure to answer them. Will Dennis finish? Probably not. I think even Dennis knows the answer to that one. I mean, any questions, be sure to pop them in the chat.
I'm also going to look there,
yes.
Having it on my second screen.
I usually have it open at all times. I can't see it at all times, but it's open at all times, I assure you. So I'm going to have to wait.
I have it open, so don't worry. We'll see it sometime, probably.
Alright, be
if
sure
we
to...
don't see it, then, I don't know,
yeah.
tag us more.
Yeah. Be sure to alert me if any kind of questions pop up that we should answer. And yeah, we'll be sure to answer all of that. So now we're just kind of waiting.
We should actually start shortly, having 20 drivers already.
We have some questions coming in. Will we see a Turn 1 wipeout, lollers? Maybe. It's a very, very big possibility. Clowie says, is Clowie the best driver on the grid? Maybe. Once again, maybe. It depends on everybody's pace, I suppose.
They're all fast, so...
yeah. They are.
Unless Dragonarium shows us that his domination, actually, we cannot really say who's going to be the fastest.
Yeah, it's very, very like, we've got no idea at this point in time. It's a new game, a new dawn. We'll see what goes on. Who do you think is going to be last in the championship this season? Good question.
Not me, of course. Because I'm not racing here, so...
Fair enough. I mean, in terms of the drivers, very hard to say. You're all very fast, has to be said. Whoever's last is last at the end of the day. Probably not the worst thing in the world. You're all very fast, has to be said. Yeah, any more questions, be sure to plot them in. I'll be sure to, answer them. But now we're just waiting for the grid to go down to qualifying. We've got 20 drivers in, I believe, or nearly.
Somebody left and joined.
We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Anyway, you can tell us who you think will win the race and who will be losing the race, actually, because the first one is the winner and all else are the losers, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, so many good drivers on the season. It's a complete, like, guess who's going to be last. It'll probably be the person who crashes out, to be honest. I'm definitely kind of expecting a crash. Quote me on that as well. There's going to be a crash. Whether it's a turn 1 crash, I don't know. M1's not amazingly known for its turn 1 crashes. It's usually decently clean. It's turn 1. It kind of comes mid-race. We see some retirements and all that. Yeah. People saying they think it will be several Demanic. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Somebody does indeed have to lose. Bonus cigar. Is 11 retirements Luke racing this year? I've got no idea. But yeah, we've got some, amazing drivers on the grid. Somebody is going to have to lose, and whoever it is, don't be too disheartened. You're racing against literally some of the best people at this game. I mean, some of them are top 2, maybe even top 1 in some tracks, I believe. So, yeah, it's a complete guess.
You actually mentioned bugs earlier in the stream, and I remembered a league race of mine.
Yeah.
Where we had some people not seeing green lights, so that should be considered when we see the lights out, and actually this is a reason for turn 1 collision.
Yeah.
So maybe.
I mean, maybe.
Also, Kaz saying that Chloe will crash turn 1. I don't know. He might be.
Maybe. I mean,
win.
It depends. I mean, literally, pretty much anyone can take this race. They could have been hiding their pace. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. It's a complete, just open ball for what's going to happen. And it's anybody's, game right now. Everybody's up for the win.
Like Williams.
Yeah. I mean, everybody wishing each other good luck. I think we're about to go down to the grid very soon. Everybody is readying up, so I'll be sure to transition this to the race. So,
also, Lurers saying that Def League races are going to be more entertaining this year. I don't know.
I mean,
most likely they will be, because they're lower leagues and there are more crashes. But if that's your entertaining, then yeah. But if
also,
you're actually talking about real pace and showing talent, I'm sure that the Pro League is going to show us that it's more entertaining.
I mean,
especially for people who want to see action and not random crashes.
Both leagues are very close together. It's in terms of where people stand in that league. It's going to be a very close league for Pro, and it's going to be a very close league for Dev. But here we are, we're on the grid. As you can see, it's going to take me a while to get used to everybody being in these teams, because I'm just remembering last season. We do see a couple of familiar faces in some cars. I think it's Brawley and Gibby. Yep, they're in the McLaren. I mean, it's interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see where everybody's at. But, yeah, I mean, we have, obviously, Dragonarium and Ghetto as teammates this year in the Mercedes. We've got Williams. Williams did awful last year, if I remember correctly. Well, not awful. They did fine. I think they were, they went towards the back. But in Pro, I'm kind of expecting them to do well. They have Windy and Rossboss there. Or Rossboos, or whatever you want to call them.
Who do you think will get the pole position? That's a thing that actually bothers me. And I'm interested to see what you guys think and what the pole position will be.
I think Windy's got a good shot at pole. I think he's, Oh yeah, I need to turn that temperature on. I apologise for that, Persian, especially. If you didn't know, Persian stream, he's currently, I believe he's doing the engineer stuff for Ferrari. So that's Spicy and Meester, so interesting for him. Just put a fast lap on, TFU pod, and we will now follow these people. I like the graphics this season for the, pretty much everything, to be honest. You can see, obviously, Brain has a little bit of lag there, so hopefully that's not something that persistently picks up this race. If the stream is picking up a lot of lag, be sure to let me know, because yeah, I'm not going to notice it without looking at the stream. So yeah, I mean, here we go, we're obviously down. I'm sorry if the screen is black as well, that's me checking the chat. I'll apologise for that. I'll be using my phone from now on. I literally just had to do it then.
Almost everybody's on the track except for Sewer and Gibby, who pretty sure will be joining the others pretty soon.
Yeah. I mean, we can't see full telemetry anymore, so that's interesting.
Broly and Yotter Vamos are entering a fast lap soon, so...
We've also got Ross Boss coming around the final corner. He'll be starting his flying lap very soon. I've been told that I need to use this from now on, so I'll be sure to use it. We got Mister, he's coming around his final sector. There's a lot of people cramped up in that final sector. We got...
There's going to be a bit of traffic.
Yeah,
Who
there
do you
is.
think will lose and gain from that?
I mean, the guy in front at the moment, I believe, is one of the Force Indias, so I'm thinking it's probably Brogan. But I think if they all manage it right, they can all be just fine. But I mean, currently there's a lot of them. If we can see here.
Do you think we'll see Magnussen and Alonso cases in this qualification?
Or maybe, can you imagine? That'd be fun. But people who I think might suffer this is if there's somebody on a flying lap coming around that final sector. Jeez, that's not going to be at all good for them. Do you remember who was first out for the flying lap?
It should be Broly and Yotter Vamos, if I say their names correctly.
Pretty much. Broly and Yeltony. So yeah, pretty much.
Also, Persian King is complaining of a lag. I'm sorry for that. It should be fixed shortly.
Is the stream lagging? Oh no. Why is the stream lagging?
I don't know. He says there's a lag.
Also, I need stronger volume.
Welcome to the slideshow stream. Yeah, maybe.
Let me just